So I genuinely think there's like a whole bunch of things that I wish I could have told myself when I was a lot younger, and to just gain a little bit more humility, because everything that you think about the world when you were 18 is not necessarily right. And as much as I want to say that this video isn't being made because I want to help, people who were my age, to think a little bit more outside of themselves, I also want to think I'm making this video because I can imagine in 5 years' time I'm going to lose a lot of perspective, and so I think hopefully this video will give me a little bit more perspective. So I think the first thing I've realised is that hospitality and retail jobs, they're actually people who genuinely have a passion in hospitality. In retail, it's not just a thing, like a job on the side that we do when we're in high school, or that we do when you're in uni. There are generally people out there who really love, serving, and I like to think that I also like to serve people, but I wouldn't say that hospitality and retail is what I want to find myself in as a career path, but there are genuinely people out there who want to do that. And to think that those jobs are any less, to think that any of those jobs are less valid than your everyday working job is absurd. And a job is a job, and there are people who really love working in retail and hospitality, and that's it. The second thing that I think also I think about a lot, actually, is that the world owes you absolutely nothing. This is not a revelatory concept. This is not a new concept. I think many people have come to this conclusion. But when you're 18, you think, especially when you haven't really gone through a lot of hardships. When you're 18, you think, I'm on top of the world and I deserve everything. And, maybe that was a very self-centered and very, I'm going to say privileged, but I think that's the best word for it. That's a very privileged view to have when you're 18. But actually, in fact, the world does not revolve around you, and the world absolutely does not owe you anything. You do not, the job that you applied for and you're perfect for, doesn't mean you're going to get it. Doesn't mean that you deserve that job more than the other person who applied for it. I think having this realization has made me feel a lot more, not only humbled, but also just like chilled out a little bit. Like there are so many people out there who are having it so much harder than me, and I shouldn't think that I'm more deserving of anything than they are. So that's the other thing. Just don't take life so seriously, because the world doesn't really owe you anything. Okay, so the third thing is that I've always thought the end goal was just to be happy. I think I remember in year 12 or when I was 18, I wrote in my letter to myself in year 9, I wrote a letter to myself in year 12 being like, regardless of what you get in your final year, regardless of whatever happens, I just want you to be in a place where you're happy. I just want you to be happy. Like it was like an end goal, like a place that you arrive to, and that was when I wrote that when I was 15 for my 18-year-old self, And when I was 18, I was just so fixated with this idea of, you know, what is happy? How can I be happy? How can that be an end goal? And the more that I think about that, the more that I think, wait, happiness is not an end goal. It can't be. I mean, it's a byproduct of your end goal, hopefully, but it can't be your end goal because I've realized that, you know, I'm gonna have days where I'm super happy, but then I'm gonna have days where I'm just like don't want to get out of bed, don't want to do anything, and I'm super just lazy, and I'm not happy with myself. These fluctuating waves of emotion kind of come and go, and so I can't keep thinking that happiness is the end goal, because when I realize that I can't be happy as the end thing because of, you know, the fact that emotions come and go, I'm just going to be perpetually upset, and it's just like a really bad mindset to get into. And it's almost if I figured out what that end goal is yet, you know. I just don't think I have the world experience to know what that end goal is, but I know it's not just to be happy, which is what I thought, which was what my 15-year-old self thought. And I guess finally the last thing that I think about a lot and will hopefully help me gain a lot of perspective in the future is the idea that in this entire world, in this entire universe, like I'm just the tiniest speck that will just kind of come and go in the most tiniest bit of time. And I like to think about this for a few reasons. The first, because it makes me realize that in the grand scheme of things, I don't have to worry about things that like always stress me out, you know, because you're only on this world for that tiniest amount of time. And so what's the point of stressing so much about that? I suppose even though that tiniest bit of time is your entire lifetime, which might feel like a really long time, in the grand scheme of things, it's really nothing. And to be able to live, I suppose, in this very moment in time is in itself a blessing. And to be able to, you know, also have this incredible life where I can just wake up, brush my teeth, just relax all day, I think that's it's such a blessing, really. So why spend all your time worrying about such small things, you know? Again, all of these things are just they're not new concepts. Many people have had these thoughts before and have also, you know, had these thoughts and have, you know, developed these thoughts and have written books about them and made YouTube videos about them. But these are just points for me that I always keep forgetting. It helps that I'm reminding myself. Yeah. So that's it.